In a world that thrives on instant gratification, waiting can feel like a burden. We live in an age where everything is just a click away: food, information, and even relationships. Yet, when it comes to the deeper desires of our hearts, the longings for healing, restoration, and miracles, we often find ourselves in a state of waiting that can feel endless and exhausting. As we reflect on our journeys, it's natural to wonder, when will it be my turn? C.S. Lewis, a profound thinker and writer, provides us with a perspective that can help illuminate our paths during these challenging times. He once stated, "We are not necessarily doubting that God will do the best for us, we are wondering how painful the best will turn out to be." This encapsulates the inner conflict we face while waiting, a struggle between hope and despair, faith and doubt. In this video, we will delve into the essence of waiting for our miracles, the lessons learned during this period, and how we can cultivate a deeper connection with God through faith. We will embrace the journey with open hearts and a willingness to grow, understanding that waiting is not just a pause but a transformative process. Waiting can be one of the heaviest burdens we carry. It's a feeling many can relate to, watching others receive their blessings, healing, restored relationships, financial breakthroughs, while we remain in a holding pattern. We might genuinely celebrate their victories. But deep down, there's a nagging question: why not me? Lewis's words resonate during these moments. We may not doubt God's ability to perform miracles, instead, we question the timeline and the pain involved in waiting. As we sit with this discomfort, we begin to uncover the truth: waiting is a common experience that all of humanity shares. Our longings often reflect our deepest desires: health, love, purpose, and connection. These are not just superficial wishes, they are rooted in our need for fulfillment and belonging. When we experience prolonged waiting, it's easy to feel forgotten or sidelined. We may start to question our worthiness and wonder if God hears our cries. Yet, it's crucial to understand that our waiting serves a purpose. The moments of waiting can draw us closer to God, refining our character and deepening our faith. Comparison is a thief that robs us of joy and peace. When we focus on what others receive, we often overlook the unique plans God has for us. The Bible reminds us in Galatians 6 verse 4, each one should test their own actions. Then they can take pride in themselves alone, without comparing themselves to someone else. In the midst of our waiting, it's essential to shift our focus back to Jesus, the source of our hope and strength. Instead of measuring our worth against others, we should seek to understand God's purpose in our lives. Even when it feels challenging, we are called to rejoice in the blessings of others. This practice requires a heart transformation, a choice to celebrate rather than to envy. Romans 12 verse 15 urges us, "Rejoice with those who rejoice, mourn with those who mourn." When we learn to rejoice in others' blessings, we create a spirit of gratitude that can shift our perspective. God's timing often differs from our expectations. We may feel like He's late, but it's essential to recognize that His delays are not denials. 2 Peter 3 verses 8 to 9 reminds us, "With the Lord a day is like 1,000 years, and 1,000 years are like a day." The Lord is not slow in keeping His promise. His timing is perfect and intentional. Designed to teach us valuable lessons along the way, during our waiting, God is at work. He is shaping our character, building our faith, and preparing us for what lies ahead. Instead of rushing the process, we must lean into it, trusting that He knows what is best for us. Tim Keller states, "God will either give us what we ask for or give us what we would have asked for if we knew everything He knew." This insight invites us to trust that God's plans for us are far greater than our understanding. Waiting requires courage, an inner strength that enables us to persevere in faith. Psalm 27 verse 14 encourages us, "Wait for the Lord, be strong and take heart and wait for the Lord." This verse emphasizes that waiting is not a passive act, it involves actively engaging our hearts and minds in the process. In moments of doubt and frustration, we can turn to prayer for strength. Instead of solely asking for a miracle, we can pray for the courage to wait, for clarity, and for peace in the process. This shift in focus can foster a deeper connection with God, transforming our waiting into a time of spiritual growth. Patience is a fruit of the Spirit that we often overlook in our fast-paced world. Romans 8 verse 25 states, "But if we hope for what we do not see, we wait for it with patience." Waiting teaches us to trust God's timing and His plans for our lives. As we wait, we can cultivate a spirit of anticipation that transforms our perspective on the journey ahead. Rather than viewing waiting as a burden or a source of frustration, we can embrace it as a unique opportunity for God to work in our lives in ways we may not yet understand. This shift in mindset allows us to focus not just on the outcome we desire but also on the process and growth that come with waiting. Anticipation, when rooted in faith, becomes a powerful motivator. It invites us to expect great things from God, reminding us that His plans are often far more significant than our own. In the waiting, we can find peace in knowing that God is orchestrating every detail of our lives for our good. This doesn't mean that the waiting will always be easy or free from doubt. Rather, it encourages us to lean into our faith during times of uncertainty. When we approach our waiting with anticipation, we open our hearts to recognize the subtle ways God is moving in our lives, whether through answered prayers, divine connections, or unexpected blessings. Moreover, it's important to celebrate small victories along the way. Each step forward, no matter how small, is a testament to God's work in our lives. Perhaps it's a moment of clarity, a breakthrough in understanding, or a simple act of kindness from a friend. These victories serve as reminders that God is present, actively guiding us toward our ultimate miracle. By acknowledging and celebrating these moments, we strengthen our faith and build resilience. Celebrating small victories also helps combat the negativity that can sometimes accompany long waits. When we focus on the positive changes happening around us and within us, we cultivate gratitude, which shifts our focus from what we lack to the blessings we currently have. This gratitude reinforces our anticipation and allows us to trust that greater things are yet to come. As we commemorate these milestones, we should also remember that the journey itself holds invaluable lessons. Each moment of waiting teaches us patience, perseverance, and dependence on God. These lessons prepare us for the larger blessings He has in store. By recognizing the significance of every small victory, we develop a deeper appreciation for the journey itself. In essence, our waiting can become a sacred time, a space where God molds our character and deepens our faith. The anticipation we cultivate can turn our waiting into a proactive process of growth, allowing us to witness God's hand at work in our lives. As we celebrate each small victory, we not only strengthen our faith but also build a hopeful expectation for the miracles that are yet to come. Learning to be patient can be practiced in our everyday lives. Whether in our relationships, careers, or personal goals, patience allows us to appreciate the journey rather than rush towards the destination. Waiting is not wasted time, it's a powerful season for spiritual growth. God uses our waiting periods to mold us into who we are meant to be. During these times, we learn to lean into God, seeking His presence and guidance. Ultimately, what we are waiting for is not just a miracle but a deeper relationship with the miracle worker, Jesus. Our longing for healing or breakthrough pales in comparison to the transformation God desires in our hearts. We are not merely waiting for a change in our circumstances, we are waiting for a divine encounter that can change everything. Hope is a powerful anchor during our waiting periods. We can find comfort in God's promises, reminding ourselves that He is faithful and trustworthy. Hebrews 10 verse 23 assures us, "Let us hold unswervingly to the hope we profess, for He who promised is faithful." Surrounding ourselves with a community of believers can provide strength and encouragement. Sharing our struggles and victories with others can create a supportive environment where we can uplift one another, reminding each other of God's faithfulness. Waiting is an integral part of our spiritual journey. As we navigate through times of uncertainty, let us remember the wisdom of C.S. Lewis and embrace the process of waiting as a transformative experience. God is not absent during our waiting, He is actively at work, shaping us into who He has called us to be, while we may desire miracles. Let us not lose sight of the importance of the miracle worker. As we learn to trust, cultivate courage, and embrace patience, we will find that waiting can lead us to deeper faith and a richer relationship with God. So, what are you waiting for? Your miracle is on the horizon, and more importantly, you are being drawn closer to the one who performs miracles. Let us wait with hope, joy, and unwavering faith.